When we hear the word addiction, our minds immediately conjure specific images: the bottle, the needle, the casino floor. We think of substances and behaviors that are clearly defined as destructive. But what if the most pervasive, most socially acceptable, and perhaps most soul-destroying addiction of our time is one that we are all encouraged to participate in every single day? What if it's an addiction that masquerades as a virtue, a craving that disguises itself as ambition? What if the addiction that is secretly ruining your life is the addiction to the approval of other people? Welcome to Existential Psychology Insights. I want to be direct with you today because this topic is urgent. If you've ever felt that exhausting, hollow feeling after spending a day trying to be what everyone else wants you to be, this exploration is for you. And if you believe these conversations are important, please consider subscribing and joining our community. We need to stop treating the desperate need for external validation as a simple personality quirk. We need to start calling it what it is: a powerful psychological addiction that operates on the same neurological principles as substance abuse. When you post a photo and wait anxiously, checking your phone every few minutes for the rush of a new like, you are not just seeking connection, you are seeking a hit. That notification, that word of praise from your boss, that compliment from a stranger, it triggers a release of dopamine in your brain's reward center, the very same neurochemical involved in cravings for sugar, nicotine, and cocaine. This creates a powerful and destructive feedback loop. The initial rush feels good, but it's fleeting. As the dopamine fades, a feeling of withdrawal sets in, a subtle anxiety and emptiness. And so you need another hit. You post again, you perform again, you contort yourself once more into a shape you believe will be pleasing to others. You become a rat in a cage, pressing a lever for a pellet of social approval, your behavior conditioned and controlled by an external reward system. But the psychological and philosophical cost of this addiction is far greater than a wasted afternoon. From an existential perspective, when you build your life on a foundation of external validation, you are committing a slow and painful form of spiritual suicide. You are sacrificing your authentic self on the altar of public opinion. Think of it in terms of the social mirror. This is the philosophical idea that many of us do not know who we are through direct introspection. Instead, we learn who we are by seeing ourselves reflected in the eyes of others. The people pleaser, the approval addict, becomes entirely dependent on this mirror. Their sense of self is not a solid internal core. It is a shimmering, unstable reflection. They have no identity, only a series of performances. They become a ghost, a hollow shell, desperately trying to conjure a sense of reality by piecing together the fragmented reflections they get from the world. This is the ultimate prison. You're not free to think your own thoughts, feel your own feelings, or pursue your own desires because you are constantly preoccupied with a single, terrifying question: what will they think of me? This question becomes your jailer. Your life is no longer your own. It is a perpetual audition for a role in someone else's play. And the tragic irony is that the audience you are so desperate to please is often fickle, distracted, and not thinking about you nearly as much as you believe they are. What are the symptoms of this addiction? They are insidious and often disguised as positive traits. It is the inability to say no, even when you are exhausted and overwhelmed. It is the constant need for reassurance, asking, "Are you sure you're not mad at me?" It is the fear of voicing a dissenting opinion, even on trivial matters. It is the chronic self-criticism that arises when you inevitably fail to please everyone. It is the feeling of being a fraud, an imposter, because you know, on some deep level, that the person everyone seems to love is not the real you. So how do we begin the detox? How do we break free from this soul-crushing addiction? This is not a matter of simply deleting your social media or vowing to be more assertive. Those are surface-level fixes. The real work is an existential and internal revolution. It is the difficult, courageous, and absolutely essential process of building an internal source of self-worth. The first step is awareness. You must begin to watch yourself with compassionate detachment. Notice the craving. Notice when you feel that pull to check for notifications, to fish for a compliment, to change your opinion to match the room. Don't judge it. Just notice it. Acknowledge it. There is the craving for a hit of approval. This simple act of observation begins to create a space between you and the addictive impulse. The second step is the practice of solitude. You must be willing to endure the withdrawal of not getting your regular fix. This means intentionally creating a space in your life where you are not performing for anyone, including yourself. It's in this quiet space that a new voice can begin to emerge, your own. You must learn to sit with the discomfort of your own company, to face the anxieties that the addiction was helping you to numb. The third and most crucial step is to begin defining your own values. This is the ultimate antidote to living by the values of others. You must ask yourself the hard questions. What do I believe is a good life? What character traits do I admire? What principles will I not betray, even if it costs me the approval of others? You are, in essence, writing your own personal constitution. This document, this inner code, becomes your new source of guidance. Your self-worth is no longer derived from whether people like you, but from whether you are living in alignment with your own consciously chosen principles. This is the journey from being a reflection to becoming a source. It is the process of learning to validate yourself. It is looking in the mirror and deciding that the person you see is worthy of love and respect, not because of the applause they receive, but because of their integrity, their courage, and their commitment to their own authentic path. This is the hardest work you will ever do. You will feel the terror of rejection. You will feel the discomfort of standing alone. But on the other side of that fear lies a peace and a freedom that the approval addict can never know. It is the quiet, unshakable strength of a person who is finally, truly, and unapologetically their own.